Just come in there, look for knockoffs, and that's not the case. I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, I'm here. Who wants to fight me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighter can beat me.
Welcome to Body Work. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Body Work Boxing. It feels so good to be back. It's always good to be able of sound, mind, body, and spirit to talk that good old boxing talk. And we got a good one coming up. And I wanted to get into it. I wanted to give my perspectives and lay it down and see what, arrive at a conclusion, I guess. I want y'all to arrive at a conclusion of how much of a toss-up this fight is for many reasons. But I just want to I'm not going to do the curriculum today. I just want to go back into some things that had happened before and to kind of paint this picture. But I want to start off with some of the funniest things that I've heard, because I was analyzing all of these, this fight. I was analyzing Regis, analyzing Jack Catterall, and the climate of what's going on, and everybody's talking about this one guy, that guy at 35. Everybody talking about him, and I heard somebody say today, man. I heard somebody say that they've been watching boxing for 40 years, and they want Tank ain't gonna be nothing until he wins a boxing match. Oh man, that was so good. I had to share it. I said, hold on, man. Am I even gonna go into gaslighting today, man? Am I even gonna go into it? I'm like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Even though it's a good quality nugget, it's a lot of stuff in this live today that is gonna have enough nutritional value to where it don't really need the little curriculum part. But I ain't no genius. Because basically, let me break it down. He was basically saying that because this guy is just a knockout artist, right? That's what everybody keeps saying, right? That's what everybody keeps saying. That he has to win a boxing match. And I'm like, man, I ain't no genius. Maybe I don't know shit about boxing. I was like, maybe I don't know shit about boxing, man, because... Hold on, man. Let me get this right. You've been watching for 4 years, and a guy has a propensity to knock his guy out. 2 people got off the hook out of all them fights. And because he's a knockout artist, he can't get no credit because you need to see him win a boxing match. Newsflash, man. Like, what is he? Is this bare knuckle? What is it called? Is that bare knuckle? Is Tank in the UFC? I thought every fight that he had was a boxing match. I said, man, I mean, but that's just, man, 40 years of boxing experience, man. I sat back, I said, maybe I don't know shit about boxing. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to carry on in my method and my approach to the game. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for that wonderful eye-opening experience. But I say that because when I'm looking at Regis, right? Regis, he got rid of Zepeda in the 11th round. And I'm like, most of the time, like the trained eyes and the people that they say, oh man, a fighter that can do like what Oshaki did a couple fights ago. Like when you can get somebody out of there in the 11th or the 12th, that's more of an indicator that you're like probably even more dangerous because, I know Coach Kenny used to say it all the time. He said, man, he can get you anywhere from 1 to 12, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to be on high alert, but because this guy happens to always do it, now he has to win a boxing match. And I know what he meant, meaning that he's going to have to, because these were the same guys that were saying, they want Shakur to just stand right there in front of him. I'm like, no, nobody wants, like, they want Shakur to do what he been doing. You know what I'm saying? Maybe increase his offensive output. Maybe that. But these same people are saying now he has to win in a boxing match. I said, man, some of the most, the way I see it, the predators I know, the guys that I mentioned in my boxes to watch, they can get you out of there from 1 to 12. You know what I'm saying? From 1 to 12, like as long as the fight is going on, they can get you out of there, man. So that shouldn't be a knock, but I learned something, man. I learned about, because we do have to update. Our phone always have us do a software update, or the applications we use, they always have us update. Like this is like a boxing app update. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what, the fruits and veggies, not that Reggie. I go more with the fact-based stuff. I'm more like a fact-based guy, not more like an opinion-based. I'll give mine, I'll share mine, but it's going to be a whole lot of nutritional value for you to go by. You feel me? But I just thought that was, I was going over a couple of things that was crossing my mind about Regis and where he stands and where he's at. And that was one of the things. Regis can carry his power, even though his last couple of performances have not been that great. He can carry his power to the later rounds. We don't know coming off of it. We'll get into that. But the knock on that guy at 35 was that it took him 12 to get Gamboa out of there. And they say that Gamboa went 12. I'm like, is this like, these are the conversations. So you got to do an update. You got to update. Okay. So you got to tell yourself, okay, that's how some fans feel. It's a different standard for different fighters. I also know that one of the key things was in that last fight with Regis, that man was put on a one-way rehydration clause, man. Like that whole thing with like that head collision, that head-on collision that he had with DHP, man, that really could be ugly, man. That if Regis was down with DHP and he followed in their footsteps, he would have somebody in litigation right now. And that's not popular to talk. Oh, here he goes. It's like, but no, let's not do that, because I keep hearing people say, I swear it's like a figment of my imagination. I keep hearing people bring up this code. There is none, man. Because when one guy and one faction and one team do something, man, and everybody's with it and everybody turning the other cheek and ain't nobody saying nothing and everybody saying, oh, man, the hate. Oh, the hate. They have so much disdain. Using all these big ass words. The vim, the vigor, the vitriol that they have. I'm like, man, golly, I can't even say get a room, man. I can't even say get a room. I could just say, man, go to your side house. Just go to your side house, man, for that guy. Just go back to your side house, man. But I believe that those are some of the things that's gonna like that I'm looking at when it goes to Regis. Regis has always been one of my guys. I said that he was up against a lot, just like when I spoke about the Charlos. The Charlos had got the key to the city. Nobody celebrated him. Maul Charlo, he had headline on the Juneteenth. They chose the time to boycott him. At the point in time when Chris Colbert was going in there to do his thing against Hector Garcia, the people that's always on code found a way to shun him and ostracize him. He ain't never been the same since. And if you look at these guys, man, a lot of these guys, when they be going into these big fights, they don't be having the support of the people that's always on code. You know what I'm saying? It just happened that they tend to decode when it's time to be on code, and you see the impact on these fighters. Regis was a product of that too, because I remember a time when Regis Prograis used to get a lot of people used to be like, oh man, Regis, oh he's that guy, you know what I'm saying? Everybody always respected Regis. Regis was always looked at like a cool dude. He got a little unorthodox style, you know what I'm saying? Like you could see him probably back in the day, like them with them black and white pictures with the boxers who, you know, fight with their palms in. You could see he give you glaring flashes. Like back in the day, he's probably gonna be one of them guys that was gonna be boxing like that and still, you know what I'm saying, getting people up out of there. People was rocking with him, but it wasn't just it was just like a whole bunch of other people from this other faction who's ever on the other side of that fence from these people, man. Whoever's on the other side of these people, they always get slandered. Well, he was on that receiving end. I knew something. I felt kind of funny when Evan Toller was going hard, and then Regis basically checked his trainer, and then I'm like, man, that's like weird. And he's like, no, man, y'all gotta have a unified front, bro. And for me doing content on them and saying, you know, being somebody, because I look at a lot of these fights and I think about a lot of this, right? Think about this. Most of the time, man, these guys, the people that's getting shoved down everybody's throats, right? The people that shove down everybody's throats, if let's say they have a fight coming up, people never really break down what their opponent's going to do. And the people who do it, they always get beat out, man. You know, they just get shut down. You know, that's not going to happen. It don't really get broken down and analyzed to the point to where people could walk away saying, I can see it this way, I can see it that way. It's just a bunch of, I'm gonna be a fan regardless. I'm going to do this regardless. I'm going to do that regardless. But a lot of the people that are getting shoved down your throat, a lot of time when they have opponents and people don't do videos on them, it look like they don't have a fan base. See, I'm realizing the tactic now. I've been in spin class, you know what I'm saying? I've been in spin class for about the last month. I've been in spin class, and I've been learning from the master spinners, right? And what they do is they'll do a video as if it's to praise you. But they know that that's not the lane you normally in. So really what you're doing is you're welcoming people to come in and take a shit. For real. And then you're going to let it, because you know it's going to morph. You know some people are going to say some extreme things, and then boof. You got lightning in a bottle. Again and again and again. Because that's what people are attracted to. All the hot stuff. So when it came down to people like Regis Prograis, he didn't really, I mean, it was people that would speak up for him or whatever, but like a lot of people like acted different when it was like when he was in the crosshairs of Devin Haney. It was like you had to pick a side and all this. It's like, dang, like you might have had your opinion on who you thought was going to win, but god dang, and this happens. I don't know if y'all see this pattern, but this happens with a lot of these guys, man, who in any other time you would like and love these guys. You have appreciation. You know who they are. You don't have to Google these guys, the guys that I'm talking about. You don't have to Google them. But when their fights come up, nobody does nothing with them. Like nobody really sits them down and have nothing. It's like the main people, like the organizations, they'll have their people interview them, but they don't really get out and about, and they don't really speak, and they don't have no real advocates. Why? Because everywhere they go, if they do have an advocate, they're gonna get shitted on. I've seen people do videos and put people in the titles and then be pissed off because ain't nobody showing up because they know you don't rock with them like that. But with those be them slow broils, you know what I'm saying? Those be them slow cookers, you know what I'm saying? Where you just gotta sit it on there, man. You just gotta sit it on like baking a potato. You just gotta put it in the oven, set the timer, and let it slow. Because it's like a loaded potato. By the time it busts open, it's gonna be toxic. Your numbers would have been met. And then they'll say, oh man, it's like, see, they don't really have no fans. Like, no, they really have fans. Like, Regis Prograis really have fans. All these guys really have fans. They just don't do no content on them. So a lot of people getting ready to microwave this shit with Jack Catterall and Regis, and they're gonna, do some knee-jerk reactions, and it's gonna be a whole lot of Monday morning quarterbacks after this fight. But I'm just gonna lay it down, put stakes in the ground like I always do, cite my sources since I can't just have my own opinion. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna do what I always do. Regis one of my guys, man. You see him in the intro, he been there. He ain't never moved. Even the old intro I had, he ain't never went nowhere. Just like Spence, just like Mel, just like all these guys that be the guys that I be pulling for, some of the guys that I try to do and keep people honest about, right? When they go on red, they leave us in a bad place. When they go on dark mode and then when they pop out, they all with the, you know what I'm saying? They with the same old people. So it's like, man, shit, I'm not going to make up nothing. Why? Because people are getting brainwashed, inundated with information pertaining to these fighters. And when they're absent and they're not there to check them, man, the legs grow hair and the hair got ticks. The live grow legs, the legs grow hair, and the hair got ticks. Next thing you know, you running around with this big ass Sasquatch of information and people out here just regurgitating. It's just sickening because people don't really want to talk about it. Well, I'm going to put a stake in the ground for Regis, and I'm going to let you know that Catterall ain't no joke, and he's crafty, and we're going to get into the information I came across, and one of them is very long-winded, but we don't got nothing but time. And like I said, this will be a stake in the ground, the same way I was doing for Subriel, same way I was doing for all these guys. Another stake in the ground for the guy saying that, listen, man, you still got fans, man. People can critique you, have their fair share of criticism, and still be rocking, man. Ain't gonna throw you out there. Ain't gonna stop rocking with you just because you got low for a little while. That shit be like that. Sometimes you gotta get low. I gotta get low. I be having to get low, man, and just be a fan sometimes and come back like, listen, man, don't become one of these guys, man. You still a fan. I'm still a fan. I'm not going to deny it. I like all of them. Some of them I like, you know what I'm saying? Some of them I just be seeing when they be fucking up and when I would be doing a little something different. But who am I? I'm just a fan that do content, man. Fruits and veggies, not that Reggie, that fact-based content, not opinion based. Let's get into it then, man. Let's get right into it. This allowance is made for fair use purposes such as criticism, commenting, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. That's what it's for. All right. me see how I'm looking here. Okay. We all good. We all G to G, and I don't got no mic problems. YouTube be acting funny, man. Excuse me, Tank beating Pitbull was not boxing. AAC, it be like that, man. Salute, AC. Cookie Monster. Body work, sounding great. Thank you. I appreciated that. Thank you. Thank you. And let's get into it. Boxing news 24. Regis Prograis facing his kryptonite this Saturday. I got them doing the stare downs. August 24th. Catterall stand on business is what they called it. Robert Seagal. I think we've had a couple of his pieces up here. We reviewed a couple of his pieces up here and spoke on it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Robert Seagal. Tim Bradley feels that former two-time light welterweight champion Regis Prograis is facing his kryptonite this Saturday, October 26th, when he faces Jack Catterall, 28-1, 13 KOs in the 12th round headliner at the Co-op Live in Manchester, England. The commentator Bradley says Prograis may retire if he loses to Catterall because the defeat would affect him mentally. It would arguably be Prograis' third straight defeat. He should have lost his fight against Danilito Zarella in addition to his defeat against Devin Haney. Surprisingly, Prograis agreed to this fight in the first place because it's the type of style that has given him fits. He doesn't do well against those fighters. Indeed, Catterall's boxing skills and tricky style are the type that Prograis, 35, has struggled with in his last fights against Devin Haney, Josh Taylor, and Danilito Zarella. Regis has the power to knock out Catterall if he lands, but it's going to be hard to do that. He should focus on throwing to the body of Catterall. They talking about that body work. Prograis, 29-2, 24 KOs, is coming off an embarrassing one-sided 12-round unanimous decision defeat against Devin Haney last year on December 9th in San Francisco, California. Regis was dropped in the third round by the non-puncher Haney and wound up losing by the scores 120, 107, 120, 107, and 120, 107. Man, why they had to slip that in there, man? They greasy, man. Regis was dropped in the third round by the non-puncher Haney. I ain't say it, man. Hey, don't be, hey. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, shawty. Catterall is not only technically good, but he's also tactically good, said Tim Bradley to Pro Box TV, discussing Saturday's fights. Dang, I didn't know you spelled Saturday like that. Between Regis Prograis and Jack Catterall in Manchester, he's extremely tricky, and I feel he's facing his kryptonite. He knows how to land that backhand against a southpaw himself. As far as this fight with Catterall goes, this is kryptonite. I think that last couple of fights he had, especially the Haney fight, who's a superior boxer, good legs, and can move. Catterall has great legs and is great technically as well, said Bradley. Catterall is a bad style matchup for Prograis, and he's going to have to depend on his power to win this fight because he's not going to outbox him. Catterall is too crafty for Prograis to win a boxing match. If Prograis doesn't get past this, mentally, I think he may check out of boxing. This is a big fight. Let me see, it just jumped up on me. This is a big fight for him. All the marbles are there for him. He has to win this fight because of his mind. If he doesn't win this fight, there's a possibility he may hang up his gloves, said Bradley. They don't sound too positive, Tim. You know what I mean? It's real, but you don't sound too, you know what I'm saying? You see how I'm saying how the narrative be when certain people fight? Oh man. He got an opportunity. He got an opportunity to, you know what I'm saying? He on his way. He say his goal is, you know what I'm saying? It's just, this is what we get, y'all. This is what we get. Prograis may not retire, but the opportunity that he's given for interesting fights could fall off. If he's embarrassed by Catterall in a one-sided fight, he may find himself stuck fighting on undercards moving forward. It's unclear how many fights Prograis has left on his Matchroom contract, if he still has some left. I think he'll continue fighting until he completes his contract. But they think he's gonna ride it out. They don't know what's gonna happen. But man, you know what I'm saying? I hope you got the author's tone. That's the first one. Let me see who we still got here. Okay, that's the first one. All right, we still rocking out. All right, this is the second one, y'all. This one is kind of long-winded, but it's good. And you know, I'm gonna go into the things that I have, and then I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying, come out and we gonna wrap it up. But this is the other one. Regis, this boxing scene right here. Regis Prograis his enduring love for a super dirty sport. Tris Dixon. The photo by Mark Robinson from Matchroom. October 21st, 12 p.m. There are plenty of fighters who have been chewed up and spat out by the sport at 35. Their dreams over, their ambition absent, their love for boxing. When they wore headgear and a vest and collected small trophies in victory or defeat, a distant memory. Those trophies meant the world, a sign of dreams, of facing down fear, of accomplishment. They were pure, unsullied by professional politics, earned by passion and love. Okay, he trying to take us there, y'all. Often at 35, a boxer who has been in the sport longer as a pro than as an amateur, the feelings change and hunger and desire replaced by a business-like, borderline depressed cynicism. But as Regis Prograis, wearing a plain white tee and beige baseball cap, prepares to answer questions in other boxed-off 10-minute interview slot on Zoom, there's a childlike enthusiasm in his eyes. He sounds a little bit more positive about old Regis there. He sounds like he a little bit more on board with what Regis got going on there. I don't know. Did you catch the tone? He's traveling to Manchester as the opponent for fellow junior welterweight contender Jack Catterall, and he has felt the stick of the sport while sampling its many carrots. Yet, despite his second consecutive fight coming in an opponent's hometown, and although he no longer wears a world title he has twice had around his waist, he still has an urge to fight. I like to hear that, because he went dark on us for a little while. In Prograis' office in his home in New Orleans, there are framed pictures of loved ones, trophies, medals, books, and fight credentials. And the veteran southpaw, surrounded by memories, is excited by the task at hand. Yes, he is headed to the UK on business, but that also happens to be a pleasure. I still got the juices flowing, definitely. I'm still hungry, says Prograis, who is 29-2 with 24 stoppages. My thing is, I want to be a 3-time champion. I have another goal at first when I have a belt. I kind of didn't care about it at first, but when I want something and I established a goal, I'm kind of hungry for it. I'm doing the thing that got me there in the first place. Of course, at his age and with his experience, he is nearer the end than the start of his career, but knowing that time might be called sooner than later, he is asked whether if he has to retire now, he would be satisfied. Originally, yes. He pauses for a thought and responded, I did accomplish what I wanted to accomplish in boxing, and I invested real well and stuff, but I still have so much to go, and I just really love the sport. I tell people all the time, I really love the sport. I love boxing. I love watching boxing. That's just what I like to do. And I still have so much gas in the tank, I can't see myself leaving right now. Corley's Catterall, who he fights on Saturday at the new Co-op Live Arena in Manchester, would be keen to show Prograis the way out, But Prograis has no intention of walking. Instead, the American believes Catterall is merely a stepping stone in his bid to further his career and fulfill fresh ambitions and achieve targets that have gradually altered since he started out. Obviously, when you start boxing, you want to become a champion, Prograis explains. When I started boxing, I just wanted to be the best out of my city, you know, not even nothing. Then I started moving around like, man, I want to be the best amateur or something. All right, then my goals changed. I wanted to become a pro, not even be a champion. I did that, and I remember early on in my career, I was sparring guys that were on Showbox, and I was whooping them. And I was like, damn, if these dudes are fighting on Showbox and I'm beating them, then how far can I go? And I just kept progressing more and more. And I was like, all right, I can be a champion. If it wasn't a good piece, I wouldn't read it all. But it's a good piece. I always thought I could be a champion because of my talent and my skill, but I didn't know if I actually can achieve that because life gets in your way. You might have to take care of your mother or your grandmother, anything like that. But luckily, I went on and I became a champion. And then after I lost it, I was like, damn, I should still be a champion. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to be two-time champion. So now it's like, what else can I do? That's the stage we're at right now. I'm going to be a three-time champion. My goals keep changing. While some fighters fall out of the love for the sport or lose the passion, Prograis can still be found in his office studying tape, watching the likes of Manny Pacquiao, Mike Tyson, Sugar Ray Robinson, and Joe Louis for inspiration, or educating himself by watching Roberto Duran, Zab Judah, and Pernell Whitaker. While he holds the sports legend in such high regard, his view of Catterall is infinitely more modest. This is where it starts getting spicy. He is as blunt as he is complimentary when discussing the awkward English southpaw from Corley. He's a decent fighter, Prograis says at the same time as mustering a sigh. For me, he's a decent fighter. Like I keep saying, he's just not on my level, but he's a decent fighter. The only thing he got for me is the Josh Taylor thing. What else? He got two close fights with Josh Taylor. He won the first one. I definitely feel like they gave it to Josh Taylor. The second one was closer, but they felt like they owed him and they gave it to him. But you look at it besides that, what did Jack Catterall have on his resume? I can't see nothing. I really can't see nothing. Catterall, 29-1, 13 KOs, and his last three fights are made up of victories over Dara, Foley, Jorge Linares, and Taylor. The return with the Scott was in May, and this fight with Prograis was due to take place last month until Catterall picked up an injury in training, forcing his postponement. The belief is that the momentum is with Catterall. While the emphatic nature of Prograis lost to Devin Haney in December, during which he was floored in round 3, might have contributed to many believing that he could be on the wrong side of the hill. Starting to heat up, y'all. Does Prograis believe he is meeting Catterall at his best? Maybe. I don't know what his peak is. It's hard for me to judge. It doesn't matter to me. All that stuff really just doesn't matter to me. And where does Prograis think he is in his own career? I feel like I'm getting to my peak. I'm 35. That's considered old. But at the same time, I started boxing late and I took care of my body. I don't do nothing. I don't smoke, drink, do no drugs, do nothing like that. I eat the right food most of the time, year round, always doing what I have to do. And basically, I feel good. I can't say if I'm at my peak or not. I just feel good. Upon signing with Matchroom, Prograis fought and defeated Danilito Zarilla, winning a split decision in New Orleans. But Haney was in San Francisco, Haney's hometown. And now Prograis is on the road facing Catterall in Manchester, less than an hour from Catterall's home. You're going to the man's backyard. Now, Liam Paro went to Sabril's backyard, and that was a different thing. That was for a title and all that, and Regis has been over the road, but he is going to that man's backyard. Prograis is mature enough to see the sport snakes and ladders, the pitfalls and upsides. Sure, he has a passion for boxing, but he is not naive to the business. For many, a move to Matchroom would be the dream, but Prograis views it as a transactional relationship. Now listen to this, y'all. Because I'll be speaking on it in real time, baby. At the time, I think that was the best option. I do. He reflects. That was the best option at the time. When you look at it with hindsight, maybe something else could have been good. But I think that was probably the best option, and I'm happy. I'm cool with them. Sometimes we might not get along that much, but at the same time, listen, that's how it's supposed to be. I'm old. I'm old enough. I'm not 20, 25. I understand. It's not personal. It's all business. I understand. A lot of fighters don't understand, and they call Eddie Hearn a B. Listen, this is not personal. These are not my friends. I don't talk to them on the phone like that. I understand. This is only a business, and if they can't profit off you, why would they even want to talk to you? So I know this. But with Haney in San Francisco and Catterall in Manchester, it is significant as for someone of Prograis stature to go on the road and face the odds. Yes, basically, Prograis admits. That's what they gave me, especially this. I understand the San Francisco thing. So when I signed with them, I basically didn't have a manager. I was doing everything myself. Now I have a manager, Brian Peters, that's going to take care of everything. So maybe looking at it in hindsight, I probably should have had a manager that's directed me to do things, but now I have that again. At first, I didn't. I was kind of just doing everything myself, and that was kind of a distraction. But you look at the money, and with the San Francisco thing, they were telling me I was going to get this, and I was going to get this. I was going to get all this stuff, and you're driven by that. And now with this, that's what they told me. Look, you're going to do this, or there's nothing else for you. It's Jack Catterall in Manchester, or it's nothing else. Now, looking back, same thing, hindsight. There's probably going to be something else out there for me, but I took on the opportunity, and I understand what is at risk. But I understand when you have a lot of risk, you have a lot of reward also. I'm just up for it because I don't just think Jack is a threat to me. So he just don't think Jack is a threat. Beforehand, Prograis was with the ill-fated Probellum, a reincarnation of a previous setup, MTK Global, with links to Irish. Oh, man. And now one of the world's, oh, man. Ironically, Catterall was also once a Probellum fighter with insight. With hindsight, again, does Prograis regret the move? No, not really. Implies that's what they had. Probellum, they told me at the time, listen, you're going to be active. 3 things they promised me. They told me I was going to be active. They told me I was going to fight around the world. Yeah, told me I'm trying to get to the meat and potatoes, man. Get to the meat and potatoes, man. Bump it. I'm going to commit to it, man. 3 things they promised me. They told me I was going to be active. They told me I was going to fight around the world. And they told me they were going to get me to a belt again. I was going to be champ again. That's 3 things I wanted. To stay active at that time. They told me 3 fights a year. We can do that. I'll fight all over the world. My first fight was in Dubai. That was awesome. And they told me I was going to be a champion again. And we'll get you that belt some type of way. You'll fight for that belt again. And I did that. I was happy with them. Defeating Jose Zepeda for the vacant WBC junior welterweight belt in Carson was the pinnacle for Prograis so far. Zepeda was dropped and stopped in round 11 for Prograis to snare his second world title. I waited so long, he says, of why it meant so much. I waited 3 years to get the belt again. And I had opportunity to go to 47 and make a lot of money, and I turned it down because I wanted to be a champion again. It's kind of like the same thing I'm going through now. I want to be a 3-time champion. I can do all kinds of other stuff, but I really want to be a 3-time champion. Obviously, Zepeda was the opponent, but no matter who I fought, being a 2-time champion was special to me. It was in 2019 when Regis Prograis last visited the UK, and he tasted defeat by the narrowest of margins through 12 breathless, hard, gritty, but incredibly crafted. With the aforementioned Taylor, the Scot won a majority decision, and Prograis, who lost his IBF title, learned he can fight in the trenches as when required, although it's not something he is intent on proving every time he fights. I feel like I can do it if I need to. If I need to do that, bite down and do that stuff. I feel like I do have a lot of power and I can end stuff, he says. If I need to, I can end it. But it all depends what the fighter brings to me. I can do it, but sometimes you don't need to do it. It's about being smarter instead of training harder. It's about being smarter. I can do it if I need to. I can do it at any time. We can put our hands up and we can just go at it if I need to do that, but only if I need to. So I guess he's saying that. Sound good, Regis. Prograis turned pro 12 years ago. While he continued the journey is far from over, you can tell his mind has been shaped by the business. He has become a skeptic, likely based on his experiences and everything he has seen during that time. 2 weeks ago, Prograis dropped a video calling out voluntary anti-doping association for only testing him once for Catterall so far. But it is down to the promoters to pay for the testing unless the fighters choose to do so themselves. For some, the cost of VADA testing is deducted from their purse. I'm actually glad you asked me. Prograis goes on as we accelerate well beyond our 10-minute allocation. So Regis about to get into it. They actually came to my house today. VADA woke me up this morning, got me out of my bed. I had to piss for them. Luckily, I had to pee. We got out the way really fast. It was like my last camp, my last fight against Devin. They tested me, I think, 6 or 7 times. One day, it was so aggravating. They tested me one day, and then I went to the fight the next day, and that's when I was out in LA training, and people from VADA was there and was, hey, what's up? You gonna test me? Playing with them. And they said, yeah, we are. And I'm like, y'all serious? Really? They tested me the day before at the fight. I saw them. I thought they were coming for other fighters, and they came and tested me. So yeah, I think I got tested 6 or 7 times. It was every week or something like that. Now in this fight, I only got tested once. That's why I was saying, what's going on? It's kind of strange that you're testing me 6 times for one fight and testing me 1 time for another fight. Today was the second one. We're gonna parking lot that, guys. We're gonna parking lot that. Oh man, parking lot that question, y'all. Prograis felt VADA were prompted by his video that it was no coincidence that he was tested the day after it was posted. But regardless of the singular situation, Prograis is under no illusions about just how problematic performance-enhancing drugs are in boxing. You cannot finish asking him if they're common in sport without him interrupting. Absolutely, for sure. It's not just prevalent. I think most people do it, he snaps. My coach, Bobby Benton, he told me a long time ago, he said, most or all of them are cheating. And I don't put nothing into my body. They ask me what supplements I take. I don't take nothing. I literally don't take nothing. All natural juices, all that stuff. So I don't do anything at all. I don't take anything over the counter. Nothing at all for me. I just thought all fighters were like that, especially old school fighters. But my coach was like, listen, all fighters are cheating. And I'm like, damn, I never believed him. But he's been in the game since I was a little kid. His daddy was training him. He saw all of them, most of the greats, and most of them were doing stuff. And if you think most of these guys are doing stuff, who can I even look up to then? That's the thing. If all these guys are doing something, legends were doing it. It's hard for me to accept because I can't even look up to nobody because a lot of people are doing stuff. Man, Regis about to bust open the pinata, ain't he? Or has the pinata already been bust open? In one of the most high-profile instances, Haney was dropped 3 times and beaten by Ryan Garcia in his first fight after outpointing Prograis. The dramatics and theatrics around Haney-Garcia Rumble being played out daily on social media and in lawsuits. While there was bad blood between Prograis and Haney's team before their fight rolled around, Prograis had little sympathy for Haney, who was suing Garcia for battery, among other things, in the courts in New York. Matter of fact, Prograis says, my heart don't go out to him, Haney, at all. My heart definitely don't go out to him. The bitterness is in relation to Haney rehydrating 165 pounds when he fought Prograis one day after weighing in at the division limit of 140. On fight night, he was almost 10 pounds heavier than Prograis, who rose to 156.8. I always feel like we'll go around, come around. And with him, Prograis explains. I don't want to say he was on PEDs. I can't say that he was on anything, but he was, as far as weight goes. He wasn't the right weight he was supposed to be on the fight night when he fought Prograis. That's what happened. But I don't really feel sorry for him. But at the same time, what Ryan did wasn't right either. It's not like a sympathy thing for me. It is what it is. I'm not a Team Garcia or Team Haney. I'm just like, it is what it is. Whatever. That's how I am, man. I'm the same way. Same way, Reach. It is just another wrinkle in the flawed business, but one that Prograis cannot stop loving, and one he is far from done in yet. Ethically, however, should cheating in boxing be perceived differently in other sports, it is one thing to throw an object further, to run faster or jump higher is another thing to punch another person in the face with more might to cause more damage, either short or long term. It should be, Prograis shrugs incredulously. But I think a lot of people look at it like this. He's doing it, so I'm going to do it. So maybe they think it's going to be even. But it's a serious thing. You can hurt someone. There's brain damage going on and stuff like that. And they still have people cheating. So when they say boxing a dirty sport, man, that's an understatement. Because it is. I love it. It's just a super dirty sport. That's how it is. That's Regis, man, in the boxing scene. That was a great piece, man. That was a long, long, long piece. But like Regis said, man, it is what it is, man. Just to let y'all know, I'm only gonna show. I'm not gonna read anything else. We done with the reading. Hopefully, we parking a lot of those questions. And this is the only thing I want to show you, because we're not fly by night here, but I want to show you this. We don't just be microwaving. But yeah, this one, we did this. I called this fight. So I called this fight right here. We did a fight call on that last one. So these are all the Regis pieces right here. Devin Haney demoralizes Regis. 48 hours out. Update on Regis. 6 days out. Regis grossly underestimated and mocked. Regis Prograis and Roberto Duran showing them. Regis Prograis versus Devin Haney. He was in the row, like when I mentioned it. That's his little video in my boxes to watch. But they had got me on that. That's why I stopped. That's one of the reasons why this was a while. You see how long ago that was? That was 2022 right there. They made it ineligible. That's why. That's one of the times when I was like, man, I started getting frustrated. That's why I stopped doing it. Now I don't monetize it. I have to clip out every single solitary thing, you know what I'm saying? But this is one of the reasons why I stopped. But he's in the boxes to watch from a long time ago. So that's the fight call. Bad Blood did that. And back when, March 2022, this is back when I used to do Teddy's Takes, man. And this used to be, man, I used to love doing these Teddy's Takes, man. Now he then kind of drifted off into the UFC and other things. And Jack Catterall, Rob for Undisputed. So don't try to say nothing about nobody don't be doing, like the updates are there. People be following around. It's not popular over here, but you'll hear a lot of people saying and doing and saying, like, now these are only 11. I could do that, but it was a long article. We could play these too, but I just say, hey, go back and check them out. See if I keep the same energy. But I wanted to show you this. Been a minute ago. Dang, I didn't realize I'd be posting that much. I didn't realize I'd be posting that much, man. Okay, I think it's right here. And I get on them too. I get, you know what I'm saying? I have my fair share of criticism too. Now this man saying he ready for Liam Powell and they can do. This is kind of important because there's a lot of boxers going through this, man. And the minute they lose, man, they be telling these dudes that they need to retire, man. Like, I'm like, dang. So you don't get no real support. Must don't want me to show it to y'all. Must don't want me to show it to y'all today. The show gotta go on. It's also a way. This is how I be checking myself too, man. I be going back. I be listening. I be like, dang. Yeah, it don't want me. Yeah, it don't want me to show y'all that, man. It don't want me to show y'all that, man. But basically, this what it was, man. You see this one? So if you see that one, like if you go back and you see this video I did, or this segment right here, that's what the thumbnail look like. See, a lot of people love to bring up the loss. A lot of people like to bring up the loss and Regis and how he got done. And I said, you know what, I would go in. I was like, I do give Dev credit for actually doing it, because I didn't see him doing that. I definitely didn't see them results being like that. I didn't know he was gonna get floored like that. I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? Like nobody truthfully thought that Dev was going to do that. They knew that he could probably outbox him, but ain't nobody other than his OnlyFans. They thought he was just going to. They knew his OnlyFans knew exactly what Devin was going to do. But most hardcores, they didn't really expect that, right? But I was seeing, because I normally go in, I normally really do, and then I said, you know what, I'm not gonna go. As information started coming out, I said I'm not gonna go in on that man like that. Why? Because nobody said nothing about that man being in a one-way rehydration clause. But every time one fighter who's happened to be kind of small, every time this guy, because he fought Ryan at a catchweight. Because he fought Ryan at a catchweight. Now it's tank rehydration clause. That nobody talks and says nothing about him having Regis in a one-way rehydration clause. And then the magnitude, when you go up against the D-Hive, you know what it feel like going up against the D-Hive? 9 times out of 10, it's people from a certain community. That's probably why we ain't rocking like that, because they part of the D-Hive. Like they are vicious. Regis was going through that. Evan Toler was the only one that kept it a buck. He was going up against the D-Hive. The man said that he was mentally beat in his interview. Regis said he was mentally beat. And I'm like, yeah, people be like, oh, yeah, that sounds good. And then people be like, yeah, that sounds like an excuse. I'm like, yeah, that sounds like an excuse until your fighter, that's until you see that your fighter won't even fight for a certain belt because it has a 10-pound rehydration. Yet your fighter put a champion in a one-way. I've never heard of nothing like that. Put a champion in a one-way rehydration clause. That's why when people be talking, I be like, man, hey, that's why I be like, ay. Every time they start talking about it, I'm like, man, like, dude, man, people never keep the same energy when it comes to these fighters, man. So I say all of that to say this. Don't get too crazy about all of that, because that's why I said, man, we can't put our foot on Regis' neck, man. The man was in a one-way rehydration clause. Now, skills should pay the bills. But if we're going to say, oh, man, Ryan, he came in overweight, then that's one aspect, because they'll mention that. So if that's a mentionable, we got to mention that this man got put in a one-way rehydration clause. Granted, he didn't look the best against Danilito Zarilla at home either, but guess what? Devin chose him. Devin chose him coming off that performance. Why? Because they saw something. They knew they could capitalize on it, and then the man wasn't even, because I was like, man, Regis don't ever look like that, man. When did Regis ever look like Regis ain't the best jabber in the world, but when has Regis ever not been able to negotiate a jab before? You know what I'm saying? Things that make you go, Things that make you go, Only I cover it in real time. It's just everybody say, oh, you hating when I do it. It's like, no, I'm paying attention to the information. I have videos where you can go back, look into it. It's still nutritional value packed off into it, because in real time, I break it down. I don't gaslight you for six to 9 to a year to 2 years. I don't gaslight you and then be like, oh, you know what? Yeah, you are right, man. I do see it like that, man. You know, yeah, man. Dang, man. After all, man, Mel Charlo, he all right, man. After all, oh, man, like, man, I ain't know all them people had ducked Regis like that during that time, man. Oh, man. Now, it's not saying that every move, every maneuver was right, but we got to consider that. The only thing is, Father Time, inactivity. See, Regis fought in December, and let me come out. But people get all anxious. You know what I'm saying? I'm here. People get all anxious, you know what I'm saying, and start leaving, but I'm here, man. JDL Boxing, Salute. Pop, what's going on? Salute. But Father Time activity. Regis, he fought in December. Catterall, I think that was back in May. You know what I'm saying? He would have had this. Now, Catterall did have a little minor setback with a little injury that pushed it back. But as far as being more active, activity rate, and we gotta know this. We gotta know this. Like these are things that I can credit one boxer. I can credit one boxer for really, like, you know what I'm saying, teaching me something from a distance. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna say his name because then people will say, oh, you flip flop. I'm just gonna say one fighter taught me the importance of staying active, right? And this same fighter also told me that, listen, when it comes down to people who you have fought on your resume, the names are not as important as the styles in which you were able to learn and implement after the fight. One fighter taught me that, or basically have me like that, looking at these fights and these fighters in my evaluations. So I look at the inactivity rate. You know what I'm saying? I was going to come up with a whole little equation for it. I do actually have an equation for it, and I'm testing it out to see if it stands true or what I can get from it. It's just like anything else. I'm testing it out. Inactivity. Regis hasn't been as active because even before that fight, you know what I'm saying, he has a real, but he went through a time where a lot of people was avoiding him. And there are a lot of revisionist historians that are coming out trying to change history and try to make it seem like, you know what I'm saying, he didn't do a lot of things that he was really actually able to do. But we're not going to do that. At one point in time, just like Subriel Matias, he was one of the, and then just like Subriel Matias, he was a book. People were avoiding him. People wasn't running up on Regis' doorbell, you know what I'm saying, pressing his thing for some smoke. He had to work his way back up. He went through promotional things, and he was out there without a manager. So only thing I'll say about the things I took away from Regis is, like, man, that whole the situation, him going into that fight, he suffered a loss, he lost his belt. Like, having that film and doing all of that stuff, that was embarrassing enough. But Regis is a stand-up dude because he took his loss like a man. He didn't make no excuse. He didn't sue. He didn't even enact things that he could have lawfully. So it's like, don't beat Regis down about that. Yeah, he got Devin put the boo pop, you know what I'm saying? He put the ones and twos on him, you know what I'm saying? He did. But there's things that we must consider. You know what I'm saying? That people don't talk about. That's one thing. But Father Time and inactivity, that's another thing. And Jack Catterall, let's talk about Jack Catterall. Jack Catterall is a crafty dude. And the reason why we're not going to do this, now I have it up here. I'm going to pull it up. But the reason why we're really not going to do this as far as the whole resume thing, because I just told you, man, we are starting to see, really, right? We're starting to really, really see that the conversation around is based on all the names. Like, because if somebody like this person or value that fighter or this and this and that, because depending on who you talk to, Frank Martin ain't shit to have on your resume. And then, oh man, this guy needs a Frank Martin on his resume. I don't know how, when you evaluating the quality of these boxers, I don't really know how. But that's how some people look at it. So who you have on the resume is definitely not as important as either A, what you learned from it, what you was taught from it, or what style you had to implement to overcome it. You know what I'm saying? That's why they call them upsets. Because they don't think that one person is supposed to be able to do it, but they put you in there as it started getting tougher. They put you in there to where if you ain't on your A game or if you make too many mistakes, oh, he can be highlight reel. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to get into it. We're going to look at the resume, but I'm not going to get all into, man, oh, well, who, because people love to play the who has he fought, who has he. I look at what they did in their performances. Because I've seen some people that people don't even know, man. Like, it's some dude, like the dude who was fighting, the dude who, I think the dude who kind of stopped Brandon Lee's momentum. When that little dude moved up, that fight with Brandon Lee and him, and I'm talking about him because Brandon Lee was 140. Still in that division. I don't know what happened, but he fought that little dude. That little dude was coming up. I was like, man, if that dude had been in the, if he had took a fight or two before that, he probably could have stopped Brandon Lee. Don't really know what's going on with him. You know what I'm saying? But I know that, shoot, people don't really know him by name. But if you go back and watch that fight, you'd be like, oh, okay, I can see how Brandon Lee just kind of overcame it. But the names don't really mean nothing. You got to look at the kind of style that person had at the time. And if they really, like, some people just happen to get a belt based on politics. It doesn't matter whether they had the style or whether they didn't what. We see a lot of that. But some of these guys who happen to have a belt, like if you were to say, like if you would have looked at Castano and how Castano got the belt off the sheriff, but Castano gave Landy Lara a lot of problems. And then people were shitting on Mel for having a hard time with him. Like, man, Castano actually, you know what I'm saying? You know how many problems he gave Lara? He can box. So sometimes it's not just the name, it's the style that you had to employ to get over the top. Jack Catterall, he got robbed the first time. You know what I'm saying? He got robbed the first time. The second time didn't look as good, but the right man got awarded the decision. And, you know, there were question marks as to what Josh Taylor was. We can kind of draw a conclusion to where, did the Regis Prograis fight, this is real funny, did the Regis Prograis fight really take a lot out of Josh Taylor? Because a lot of people say, oh man, you got your ass beat by Josh Taylor. Whenever somebody say that, I'm like, yeah, you didn't really watch that fight. Like, that really wasn't no, like, what happened was, in my opinion, Regis, he fell asleep in the wheel, and he has a tendency sometimes to do that in the middle of a fight. It'll just be the same kind of repetitive thing. If he ain't, you know what I'm saying? If he ain't doing it, then sometimes he can rock you to sleep or get his second win, and then boom, he can get in there and do it, right? He fell asleep in the middle rounds. But if you go back and look at Josh Taylor's face, because everybody bringing up that, like when I was saying that back then, like, oh, did you see Josh Taylor's face? Because it was like Josh Taylor's face was looking bad. Not just having not like Bivens where he just had a big lump right here, bruise right here. Josh Taylor was messed up. Regis had little red marks, being a little red guy, but Josh Taylor's face was busted up. A lot of people can say, did Regis take a lot out of Josh Taylor? Because after that, Josh wasn't that active, knowing he should have moved up to 47. But I don't think he really wanted to go over to 47 because he got caught being one of them guys that shrink down, then being inactive, and then his body started breaking down, just like Earl Spence at that time. So Jack Catterall is a tricky dude, man. He's one of them guys to where if Regis, if you know Regis will say, listen, man, I'm gonna say that about everybody I face. They just ain't nothing to me. That's how he go into all of the fights. Hopefully we'll see the Regis who can learn and capitalize from being in the ring and having that experience with Devin, and the guy who knows that, man, listen, Zarilla, the way Zarilla made him look, dropped him twice. He dropped him. I think he got counted for once. I know he got counted officially once, but I think it was twice. He know Jack Catterall can get busy. We just gonna go into every fight saying, listen, man, he ain't nothing to me. He ain't on my level. He ain't this. And I like that. So I think that this fight, to me, in my opinion, it's a coin toss, man. And just because, man, I would love for Regis to do his thing, man. But if somebody put a gun to my head right now and said, who you got? It might be Catterall, man. You know why? Because especially if this thing go to the judges' scorecards, you going over there in that man backyard, and then how crazy they talk about the Josh Taylor fight. So you going over there to Manchester. Hopefully you've grown and you've learned, even though you've gotten a little older, and you've learned from that time when you went over there with Josh Taylor. Because people talk about that fight like, I'm like, did we watch the same fight? Josh Taylor didn't beat the shit out of Regis. Like they kind of was in there playing rock'em sock'em with a little high level, a little chess in there, but it was more rock'em sock'em. You know what I'm saying? It was a little more rock'em sock'em-ish more than chess match, man. In the scorecards, were deemed that Josh Taylor won. But for real, Regis was punching. He just didn't get him out of there. And at that time, Josh Taylor wasn't he was strong. Josh Taylor still strong. He had a chin. You know what I'm saying? He was still durable and stuff like that. Like he didn't look, before we could clearly see his body breaking down, he didn't look the same. But this fight is a toss-up, y'all. We gonna look at the box rec. We can look at the box rec. And we right at that hour mark. So we're a little over that hour mark. That article was long. It was a lot of stuff, a lot of background I wanted to break down. There was something else I wanted to show you, but don't listen to what everybody's saying, man. Do your homework, do your research, man. Do your homework, do your research. Ask around, man, because a lot of time when people get real loud and vocal and they want you to, it's just, we seeing this going down with the elections, right? We see it right now, right? When something's going on over here in that entertainment industry with a mogul over there, right? And then the elections are going on. It's like, where's your attention going to go? And then it'd be football on Sundays and this big fight on that. Like, where's your attention going to go? But a lot of times, I know on boxing, especially on YouTube, when people do content, a lot of times when it's a loud echo blast and somebody just harping on this, you got to look at where they're trying to divert your attention from. Where are they trying to divert your attention from? That's what I'm starting to look at, man. I'm starting to analyze everything. I might shoot my little shots. I might, you know what I'm saying, throw my little daggers out there and say whatever, you know what I'm saying, on the subject. I ain't mad. But I'm like, that don't make no sense. Like I from a distance, you know what I'm saying? Like from a distance with the archery team, you know what I'm saying? With the archery team, we can we can cock back and, you know what I'm saying, with the archery and hit you from a distance with that one. Like, ain't even no need to have a sit down and go back and forth about that. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, AC?
Salute, my guy. What it do, bro? Good cook. Good session. I'm gonna chime in with this. Sometimes those of us who do critical thinking, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have to understand not everybody can get to that level because they don't understand shit at the remedial level. You feel what I'm saying? So
hold on, man. I gotta bring you an AC, man. Hold on, man. Rewind that. Hold on, man. Let me switch it up a little bit, man. Let me see. Let me let this cook, man. Go ahead. Run that back. Run that initial part back, man. You go ahead, man. It's your world. You know what I'm saying? Have at it, man. For as long as you want. Go ahead.
Like I was saying, bro, it's just this simple. It's sometimes we have a over expectation of people doing critical thinking when we have to realize they don't understand shit at the remedial level. You get people just in things that you're talking about, the remedial level of how Hollywood works. It's a business. The remedial understanding of our politics. If you don't vote, then shit happens that you're not gonna like. You feel what I'm saying? When it comes down to boxing, you know, if the fans are not vocal, then certain things won't happen and we won't protest certain things. And at the end of the day, it's a sport, but it's based on a business platform. So which one really is it? Is it a business that's on a sports platform, or is it a sport that's on a business platform? When I look at it like that, I look at the NBA, major leagues and everything else, they show us that these are sports that found a home on a business platform, which is the entertainment side of TV and everything. That's why they were able to get their shit together. When we look at fights and fights happen, and we look at, all right, Regis Prograis versus Jack Catterall, or Tank versus this person, Tank versus that everybody's belly aching and pissed off about, Lamont Roach. Oh, why he got to go down to 130? Why he got to pick up a guy at 130? This and that. Okay, so why would the guy that had Andre Ward, Floyd Mayweather, and Terrence Crawford in the photograph to legitimize himself? Why would he be fighting the guy that he was going to fight, Joe Cordina? And you guys had no problems. You just made excuses. Oh, well, what is he supposed to do? Everybody ducking him. All right, so that same philosophy can't apply to Tank? That same philosophy can't apply to Tank? No? Okay, all right. I got you. I see where we're going with this. It's all selective. So the more selective I can be, the more I could try to throw around the statement that, oh, niggas don't know shit about boxing, because I'm constantly moving the goalposts. You feel what I'm saying? I'm constantly moving the goalposts, so this way you can't stick a pin in nothing that I said. You can't hold me accountable for nothing that I said, because boxing is ever changing. So if I'm moving the goalposts just like boxing, how you gonna get mad at me? I'm just a messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. And we fall on these type of arguments. But that same messenger who's wrong more times than right will sit there and tell you, once you make a good point, oh, you don't know shit about boxing. You don't know shit about the business side of boxing.
Well, you know what they've been doing lately is they flee like roaches when the lights come on. When I come around, man, motherfuckers get to having the shit to do and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Motherfuckers get quiet and short and all. Well, yeah, man, well, I'm about to go. Yeah, man, because that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's how you know.
Or the argument dwindles down to this final point, met by a little bit of frustration. Oh, well, listen, I really don't give a fuck about neither one of them. I ain't really. Neither one of them is really my guy.
Yep.
Oh, okay. All right. I really don't care because it ain't one of my guys. It ain't somebody I fuck with like that. Then why the fuck are you so opinionated about it then?
Yeah, I don't know if you heard the little one I said earlier about how somebody said they was watching boxing for 40 years said they want to see Tank win a boxing match. I'm like, hold on, every fight he has is a boxing match. But I know what you're saying. You saying he has to show you that he can stick and move and do all of that to get a decision on a scorecard. I'm like, but the thing is, when you ask a guy that's known to have a boxer, like the skilled boxer who's known to go the distance, if you say, oh, well, he got to get the knockout, he don't got to get a knockout. It's like, well,
he got to get the knockout. A win is a win. A win is a win. What is you talking about? Fuck is this nigga talking about? You don't know shit about boxing. A win is a win. I can't believe this nigga just said that. And you just sitting there like, wow, you would have said wow, bro, all of that energy. But Tank need to box somebody for 12 rounds in order for you to give him respect, because you're claiming he ain't fought nobody.
Okay. I mean, it don't work in real life, because look, if they say, hey, look, like that's in truck driving, they say, hey, this is what we're gonna give you this is what we're gonna give you to get from point A to point B. And I used to do it on the road all the time, and they give you a fuel surcharge. Because I slowed down, I made more money off the gas. But if it was just a flat, this is what you're gonna get no matter what, you know what I'm saying? If you're gonna get this no matter what, the less time you spend doing it, the more of a value for that time it is. Yeah. So if he can get it, like if he go in there and he get his guy out there in the 8th, but in 3 fights you going 36 rounds, like, I mean, who's working more efficiently? That's what I be trying to say, because people ain't just, you know what I'm saying, standing up and putting their chin out like, yeah, like we're right on the kisser, you know what I'm saying? Like, they not doing that.
Exactly.
So, but what you think, man? Because I don't know if I'm gonna keep this one along. But what you think about who would you give the nod to in this fight, or how you looking at this fight? Are you even picking a guy?
It's kind of a weird situation. I really like both guys. You feel what I'm saying? I like what both of them bring to the table. I like that yin and yang thing that's kind of going on, because Jack Catterall can easily beat Regis Prograis on boxing. If people say Jack Catterall beat Josh Taylor, Josh Taylor got a gift with the Jack Catterall fight and refuses to want to rematch the guy because he know Catterall got his number. When you do the triangle theory, and this is one of those situations where I believe the triangle theory actually comes into play as a good example to a certain degree. You got Josh Taylor who beat Regis Prograis, right? No controversy behind that. You got Catterall who beat Josh Taylor, controversy behind that. Makes a great dynamic to see who actually wins these two fights. It comes down to kind of which name you like more. It's not really once you're looking at it on paper, it's what name you like more. And
right.
You feel what I'm saying? Or who are you more of a fan of? Well, I kind of lean more towards I'm more of a Regis fan than Jack Catterall fan. So in that case, that's the way I'm picking it. It's a Beterbiev versus Bivol type of situation with this fight for me. You feel what I'm saying?
It's close to that because I actually like I like Catterall. I like his style, man. I think he's a kind of dangerous guy. I kind of give him a slight edge right now. If I had to say, I kind of give him a slight edge, and that's just because I seen what Zarilla was able to do. I seen what Devin was able to do.
Yeah.
And at this age and what Regis been going through, man, I know he trying to get it on, but we're gonna have to see where he at because he came off, you know what I'm saying? Like he got dropped twice. That's a psychological thing. And I gotta see where he at. So if I had to give it's a 50-50 to me. It's a coin toss for real. But if somebody say, just pick one, I'm gonna say, he going over there in that man's backyard. We seen how decisions have been rendered. Just the boxing picker in me would say that, but it's a 50-50 fight.
Yeah. Now here's the funny part. I'm not gonna say, that come fight night I might flip flop.
Oh yeah, we got time. Shoot, it's only Tuesday. Oh yeah, we still gotta see how they look at the weigh-in.
Exactly.
With some elements. So yeah.
When I look at the press conference, I want to see energy levels. I want to see mindsets. When I look at the weigh-ins, I want to see, do you look a little parched? You feel what I'm saying? Are you looking a little thirsty out there? You need a glass of water or something. You know what I'm saying?
Red around the eyes, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So, like, my heart of hearts tells me to pick Catterall. But if I had to put name recognition to it and just say, all right, based on the names, who you got? I'm going to say Regis.
I can rock with that.
You feel what I'm saying? So
yeah,
that's what I'm saying now is subject to change come fight night. That's all I'm going to put out there. You feel what I'm saying? But right now, I think to a certain degree, I feel Regis might be going into this fight a little bit more hungrier and feel that he has a little more something to prove than Jack Catterall.
Absolutely. So, and to look at it, man, like, see, this is what I be trying to say. They'll try to act like because of that last loss, it wasn't a stop. Regis has never been stopped, but out of 29, he's 29-2 with 24 knockouts, man. He got an 82% knockout rate. If he get in there and land what he typically lands, it could be over. He could end it. Like he has that kind of power.
Yeah.
But in his resume, man, he fought some names, man. So he got the Ndongo. He went in there and got Ndongo out fast. Like right after Bud. He got an Abel Ramos. He got Terry Flanagan, Carl Relic. Josh Taylor, Ivan Redcatch, even though Ivan Redcatch, that's just a name. He's becoming a floozy right now. Jose Sean Zepeda. Zarilla is actually a smooth criminal. I want to see him again, man, because he got that awkward style. But, I wanted to put some respect on Regis' name. A lot of people are not going to outwardly celebrate or acknowledge that Regis was Reed is a cool guy, man, and he's always been down to earth, and he's done some things in boxing. So I'm pulling for him. I don't know, you know what I'm saying, if you're gonna pull it out. I just think it's a good fight to see, man. And
Yeah.
I'm just asking everybody to just guard yourself with the conversations, man, because people gonna try to tell you he ain't this and he ain't that, but we don't know. They gotta fight.
Yeah. You can't tell me either one of them are officially done until the fight happens. What if they both drop each other and the fight's a draw?
And what it really looked like is if it go the distance, it looking like Catterall. If it end early, it's looking like Regis. Because Catterall is 29-1 and 13 knockouts. So he's only at 44, but he's a southpaw. This is a southpaw and southpaw matchup. Very interesting. A southpaw showdown is what I call them.
Yeah, that's what's gonna make it. That's what's gonna make it good. And just my final point is when we hopefully moving forward between you and Pop and you feel what I'm saying? We get a lot more fight breakdowns to whereas even if it's our favorite fighter, we're also looking at what the opponent brings to the table. So this way people can't say, well, oh, you guys only cover the one side. You feel what I'm saying? No, when a good fight come up, we cover both sides. You feel what I'm saying? Because, a quarter's a quarter, even though it's still got two sides. Still a quarter. Dollar bill, same way. You feel what I'm saying? So, with that being said, it's just like, all right, let's cover both avenues of it, so people have a better understanding of understanding who the guy is that the person is fighting. You feel what I'm saying? And understand, it's not really about the names. Stylistically is what you guys got to look out for, because this motherfucker brings a style that's gonna give him problems, and that's why he chose this guy, which y'all don't know his name. It's a stylistic thing.
Yeah, Eddie think Jack gonna do it. That's why he got him. This is almost like a setup fight for Regis. So I hope he go in there and give it what he got, and he taking Jack serious, even though he gonna play coy. He's gonna play coy in his interviews, but I hope he is taking Jack Catterall serious, because he's gonna try to make an example out of Regis.
Yeah.
But yeah, good cook, man. I appreciate your contribution, brother.
For sure, bro. Good session.
All right, well, I'm gonna wrap it up, man. Oh, he just left. But yeah, man, good insight, man. AC always get me with them analogies, man. He'll walk down on you and then boom, you know what I'm saying, hit you with it. You know what I'm saying? He'll time you and bow, you know what I'm saying, put your lights out. But as always, man, I ask y'all to support the channel. You know what I'm saying? We do that body work over here, man. Boxing is in a good place, man. It's just I think the conversation doesn't represent the state of boxing as much, because it's always diamonds in the rough. There are always good fights. There are always good stylistic matchups. Both men always pretty much bring something to the table. It's just sometimes it's any given night and who's up for it, what people went through. You don't even know the backstories. As fans, we don't care. We just want our pound of flesh. But like me, I try to put stakes in the ground for these guys, man, and you know what I'm saying, keep it a buck on what's going on, man, and try to keep it as even as I possibly can. I don't go out of my way just to shit on them, but you know what I'm saying, I do go out of my way to say something, because silence is consent. So if you're not saying nothing, man, that means you agree with a lot of the bullshit that's going on. So start saying something more. Look out for this fight this weekend. It's a good fight. I appreciate everybody who took the time to come through and hit the like button. May have subscribed to the channel. I hope you have. Remember, this is the alternative to everything that everybody else say, man. It's just like, yeah, they can have all their points and all this. This is just something to put on your mind and a way to look at it. I'm not trying to combat nothing anybody's saying. This is fruits and veggies, not that Reggie. The alternative to opinion-based content. This is fact-based content. It's a difference. You feel me? This fight is a coin toss. You know what I'm saying? I'm pulling for Regis. I like Jack, but this fight is a coin toss, man. I think you're going to get plenty of bang for your buck. But thanks for choosing Bodywork Boxing. But we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga, Rex? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to Bodywork.